Hello, everyone. Hi, and welcome to Sacred Para. Hope you guys are having an amazing Sunday as we start the beginning of a new week. So, this is a different time for me. Generally, I'm on here on Saturdays at 3, but as you know, my days do fluctuate. Sometimes it's on a Friday, Thursday. Just make sure that you catch up with me. I try to always put a virtual flyer out. But today we have the amazing Life and Dolldom, who's going to be joining me again today. We've had 2 other lives, and I'm really, really excited to have her on here. Hi, my little Kirby world. Bye. Hi. I didn't mean to say bye, but hi, Day the QT3000. Thank you for joining. I see my husband on here, Coach Play, and as I told you before, he is a life coach as well as a personal fitness trainer. If you ever need to connect with him, I see Winter Woods on here and Life and Dolldom. Hello. So I'm going to call her in. Let me go to, they have this set up so different. So I always have to figure it out. Let's see here. There goes the camera. There goes Mike. Let's see. This is suggested to join. There we go. So they change things up quite often. If this works, I believe it will. So I hope everyone's having a good Sunday. Hi! Yes, I know. I was like hoping it would too. How are you?
How are you?
Doing good. I give you a virtual hug.
Hugs.
How's your Sunday going?
It's good. It's very calm and quiet today, so it's perfect. Yesterday was busy. So
Yes. So you had a good photo shoot?
yes, adorable family. It was just, we went walking in the forest and took photos. It was beautiful. So.
Oh, wow. For those who didn't hear the other live, she is a photographer. So that is one of the reasons why we have such amazing pictures from you. Like, this is what you do. We're trying to get to your level because your pictures are phenomenal. So
Thank you.
as that's just the truth of it all. I've learned a whole lot from you and, watching what you do and different tips that you've given. So I like it.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
So today we are going to talk about uncomfortable storylines.
Yeah. A couple of them.
Because because you have like really heavy themes, and I have some heavy themes in mine.
Yes.
And but it's good. It's good. It's releasing and like a catharsis for us as writers.
So like just, therapy, getting it out. It's good. Whatever works,
So I was really hoping that today we could kind of talk about, because you have Margot, of course, who has gone through something really heavy.
Yeah.
And she's still walking through that. And actually, I mean, like, while we're talking about it, each one of your characters are still really walking through their situation still.
Right. We're kind of focusing on Rowan a little more right now because
Yes.
I love Halloween, so I like to do this, spook it up a little bit. So I've been working on her story since whenever Patrick died, so it's been building. So.
But I'll admit, like, I'm still curious, like, is Patrick really dead?
He's gone.
He is? Okay. Because I was like, well, maybe he just, like, faked it. And
oh, no, he's dead.
Okay, so he is gone. But I'm telling you, like, the way, and you don't have to tell us how, but the way that you did the shadow, I mean, like, I've seen comments at the bottom, people were like, that is so creepy, and it is creepy, because you look at the picture, and you can feel something's there, and you look, like, a little closer, and you'll see, like, that dark silhouette, and it's like, oh, God.
It was this doll. I just wrapped him in black felt and tied a rubber band around him, and then held him like this in front of the camera as I was taking pictures. So that was my trick. It was nothing special. It was just black felt from Dollar Tree. I wrapped him in it, and
wow.
Yeah.
It works so good. It does. It works so good. Because you're sitting there and you're like, oh no, Rowan.
I know. Sometimes I have to I'll do, because most of my time spent in here when I'm doing these things is at night. And I mean, we live out on the base of a mountain and it's dark at night. and
Wow.
like bonked the side of the doll shed, and I'm like, what was that? Like I these things. I'm like, okay, it's time to go hide. So, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm glad that you've expanded on Rowan.
Yes, she.
Because like she came in and I actually at first I thought she was going to be kind of like a bit player, but I like how you gradually brought her in, and now she's like one of your main focus players out of your storyline. And now she has her sister who's moving in, and I love the interaction you gave.
Yes, I have a little sister, so Maeve reminds me of my little sister, so it's that my nod to her. But it'll be fun. She'll get a little. Maeve will kind of shine a little, and it'll be kind of crazy. So we'll see.
I like that. I like that. So what we're talking about, in case you guys haven't been catching up, and these were actually new posts that you put out between today and yesterday, as far as with Maeve coming in town. And so we're just talking about the recent post with Maeve and her interaction with her sister. And she just has like this really like super just happy kind of like go lucky personality, and very, very youthful. You know what I mean? Like just what you would think of when you think of youthfulness. Just like she said, I'm game, I'm in. I'm in for it. And I love how you kept Jolene in there.
Yes. I really like the two of them together. I feel like their like story, they kind of like are bonding, and so I like them. They're kind of leaning on each other a little.
They are. They are. So as a writing tip, because we are giving out tips as well, if you have someone that you know, a particular character, a particular doll that you really do like, and you're just like, you know, I'm going to put them in for these few posts, because really Rowan came in to do the commencement, to do the wedding.
Yeah.
And well, I should say to officiate the wedding. And I kind of thought that that was it. But then you like brought her in, and then you know, like she met Patrick, and we didn't know how long that was going to go on. And then you just kind of like made her story expand from there. So you can take someone that you just have as a friend who's just here and like a few posts, and bring them back in and just let it gradually expand, let their journey expand. Yeah. Because her story is expanding without leaning on Margot.
Mm-hmm. And, you know, like, honestly, she never really intended to be anybody big in the storyline. But when I was doing the reception photos, I had set Patrick and Rowan off to by themselves, and my youngest was in here, and she was, and I just saw them together, and I was like, oh, they're cute together. And I was like, where could that go? Oh, I didn't use them too much, but it worked out. And their storyline got, you know, influences and stuff, inspiration from different things. But yeah, she never intended to be anything big, but it just, she was talking. So
and you have to follow it, because if you don't, it will cause issues, because it'll still be there, just like that gnawing nag, like, you know, put me in, put me in, put me in. So you have to put her in. Now let's deal with her storyline with Patrick. That was such an intense relationship. I mean, just from the get, when we talk about how he was with Jolene.
Yeah, it was a very possessive, emotionally abusive kind of relationship. You know, you thought it was like, oh, he's Prince Charming, but it kind of dark side, and he's not a great guy. But, you know, like how I wanted to focus on, like, you kind of have these relationships, remove the bad guy, you know, and how is she going to heal through it? And yeah.
How easy was that to write? Like emotionally, was it easy to write it, or was it kind of like, I'm attached to this character, so it's kind of hard to put these bad points on him?
No, it wasn't so much that I was attached to the character. I didn't want, I don't know, that's a tough question. Because it is a tough situation, and some of the stories are influenced through personal, you know, maybe exaggerated, but something that's like the feeling, the same thing that she's going through, just a different, you know, narrative. So it is a little personal, and so it is harder to write, and sometimes like it gets you into that dark place that you talked about in your last live, and you kind of be like, I can't do this. Like her posts to write those were took me a little bit longer to write between each one. And it was like, or I would do them in a big chunk and be like, okay, I need a break. Because it,
Yeah.
but you know, like you were talking about in your live about being in the dark place and everything, like you kind of heal in a way and that wound heals. And it may not feel like it at the time, like it was hard to write down, like, I'm okay. I'm going to be okay. You know, Rowan's going to be okay. So.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes. I love it. I love it because it's so very true. I mean, it does not feel good when you're doing it. And then I think too, sometimes doing it on Instagram can feel a bit awkward at times.
Yeah, because I mean, yeah, because you're like, I don't know. I don't want people to think that this is actually what happened, or I don't want to upset anybody, or yeah, it's
because and that's like really big. And one of the things that I'm learning, and I did it with like one of the posts when I talked about with Brenda and Gloria when they were having their conversation at the spa, and I had to put trigger on there just because, like a trigger warning, mainly because I had him at the spa and Brenda was unclothed. And so I've learned, like, okay, sometimes that can be triggering for someone, or even like this particular conversation can.
yeah.
So putting that on there does kind of let people know. And there's someone else who does that really, really well. Oh, goodness. Catherine CPI. Yes, yes.
Post about her losing the twins, and I was like, at first it took me a second, and I was like, oh, that's so sensitive. Like that's, you know, and maybe, you know, hindsight, I probably should have done that too, because it can be triggering. And to have a hard post like Margot's hard post, and when she was going through losing what she was losing, and
Yes.
yeah.
So yes.
Those, you know, those little triggers, the warnings.
And it does. It helps. It helps, I believe. Like for me, you know, I soak in the writing, you know, I soak in the storyline. So I don't really have to have the warning, but that's me. That's me. But for some people, it can, you know, rouse up, you know, memories of a situation, or it can just be too heart-wrenching for them. And they're like, you know, I want to go ahead and skip that post and just catch up with the ones you have before that. So putting those warnings do help. But like I said, for me, I just soak up the storyline and the pictures, and it really gets me involved. But I can also understand where someone else is. I have to use it more, you know, because my storylines can get intense. And so I have to be aware that, you know, for other people that may be too much for them. So that is something to consider, but it shouldn't be a deterrent from writing it.
Right.
It shouldn't. Because I believe you've gotten messages. In fact, I know I've seen it in the comments where people are like, I went through something similar to that. This story helps me. I'm praying for Margot while she's going through what she is.
Yeah.
So it helps people, you know, and that's really what our creativity is supposed to do, is help us and help other people.
Well, and that's like your character, Gloria, when she struggles with her mom, like I connect with that a lot. And I've been there, and it's like, it's hard to, you know, read through those to be like, wow, somebody else, you know, may be a doll or something, but these words came from somewhere, you know, and it's almost reassuring to be like, okay, I'm not by myself in this. So it's good.
Exactly. And see, like that and we are able to vibe not just because of our storylines, but we just vibe. Like I said, that's my soul sister right here. We just vibe. But as far as like storyline, there's a lot of different things that's in her storyline. I'm like, wow, I connect with that. And then vice versa. And then we talk, and it just really does help. It helps the healing process. So you being able to have someone to, and this is just a tip for anybody who's out there, but you being able to have someone to talk to, you know, about your storyline can be healing for you as well as for the other person.
Yes.
So don't be afraid to write it.
Yeah. Create. And
create. Yes. So when we dive, because you did bring up Margot, when we dive into Margot's story, because I really wanted focus on, of course, you know, you have Rose and stuff, but Rose isn't going through as much right now. She has the twisted ankle, but
right there. Rose is taking a break because I'm working on it. I'm trying to make an A-frame house, which is kind of hard when you've got. So we're working on it. So
okay,
taking,
I'm for it.
It's Halloween and it's spooky season, and Rowan needs her story. So
there you go. There you go. And I'm glad she said that. She has a Halloween party coming up.
Yes.
So make sure to put that on your calendar. Yes, yes. It's on the 31st, right?
Yes. Whenever.
Yes.
Just love to see your costumes, everybody. It'll be fun.
Yes, yes. I'm glad you're going to have it. I was going to have one this year, but I'm like not set at all. So I was like, no, they'll just be attending. They'll just be attending. We may do something for Thanksgiving, but yeah.
Oh, yeah. There we go. You can do Thanksgiving.
Yes, yes, yes. So Margot.
Yes.
She has this heavy storyline right now.
Yeah.
Because we found out that she was pregnant, and oh my goodness, that was such a sweet announcement. Like with the blocks that spelt out dad. Oh my gosh, like that was so perfect. And then it just kind of like we're journeying with her. Like I said, you are so good when it comes to just taking us on these emotional roller coasters. Because we're journeying with her, and then of course she's not feeling good.
No, it just doesn't. That is personal pulling from a very personal place. Our youngest, that was our youngest pregnancy. We have our lovely, our lovely girl, but there were complications in the first trimester. So actually the whole pregnancy was horrible. And I don't know if I'm going to go full, but yeah, it was, hers has been really healing though, to just kind of get over it.
And then that was what I wanted to ask you about. Like, how has that been as far as like the after effect? Because you don't have to go through the process, but just like that after effect of writing such a heavy personal topic.
Here's him like writing it out and everything. I see Fluffykins is on here. I'm curious how he felt like reading it. So
that's her boo. That's her husband. Yes.
But it was hard, but I'm just giving her like, okay, so for the people on here, Margot is having a boy. Yes.
Okay, boy.
So
we were trying to look too.
I know.
Because we were like, what was it? I missed it. I remember like in the captions, we were like, I missed it.
So for the boy, so I'm very excited because I feel like that's that I wanted to like heal. I'm a little shaky in my voice. Whew. Yeah. So just
that's okay, because I mean like we're all part of healing. I mean like really. I teared up last week. But that's the authenticity of who you are.
Oh.
And literally, and when we read your storylines, and I believe anybody can agree with us or agree with me when I say this, we really do feel your heart in what you write.
Oh, yeah.
We feel your heart in your pictures. I mean, like, it's just, there is no separation of your talent from who you are.
Oh, I appreciate that.
Just honestly, it's just very, very pure. And that's why I'm just so, like I told you the very first time when I saw your page and then like I wrote you, I was like, oh, she's probably not going to write back. Just because, but then I meet you and I talk to you and you are so down to earth. You are so real. And I'm just thankful for what we have.
I'm grateful. Yes,
I am. And there's been a lot of healing within me from our friendship. So
very much. I mean, the advice that I could give people is just don't write for followers, write for you.
Yes.
And it's just going to be so much more rewarding. It's kind of like, I guess, some people have been doing blogs. They've been like, I know, I'm like, whew.
I know, right? That's put on the makeup today.
that's, you know, like, that's the one thing I could say is just right for you. You know, whether
Yeah.
on a blog, be on here, just right for you. And like heal and get those wounds out and just let people see it and be like, hey, we see you. We love you. You're great. You're doing awesome, you know, because some of those,
Yes.
it's good. But
It is. And I would also say with this is timing too. Timing fits into it so much. Like if you're not ready to write that heavy topic, I wouldn't do it just yet. You know, you can probably journal it, most definitely. Journal it, write it down, get it out of you. But if you're not really in that place where you feel secure to release it on the, you know, like on an Instagram platform, I wouldn't do it quite yet. You know, make sure that you're in that right place. For us, we were in that right place. And like I said, the connection that I've had with her, and I mean, we have extremely long posts, long DMs where we've talked. And that's why you see us getting emotional right now. It's not just the topics, but also the things that we've shared together that has been extremely healing and just really, yes, and just really just gleaning strength from each other. It's been beautiful. So like the tears are like, you know, they're a mixture. It really is. It's just been very, very helpful. So that's why I'm thankful. I'm very, very thankful for our friendship.
yes,
Very thankful. So yes, so it's important to write the storyline, no matter how hard it is. Write it, but then, you know, put it out here in the right timing. Don't do it if you're not really certain. If you're not really certain and you feel like this is going to grieve you more, don't do it just yet.
just write
But do it when. Yes. So we talked about Margot, and of course now Margot, I believe, is in a better place with the pregnancy as far as accepting that she has this one beautiful baby boy.
Oh.
And yes, he's gonna be surrounded with so much love. So I think that she's in a better place from what I've seen. Oh my goodness, and how could I forget? What is her name? Her name is like right there. Begins an H, her best friend. Hazel.
Oh,
Yes, I forgot about Hazel. I didn't even put on the flyer, but nonetheless, Hazel comes from, you know, she's gotten out of a pretty deep situation, at least her niece, you know, and that's kind of like changed up the dynamic bond of what their household is. Of course, it's made it better, but it's still bittersweet.
Yes, and I'm gonna work on them a little more. I'm gonna work on maybe her going into school and things like that, and like, you know, her struggles of like, wait, my family dynamic is different than the school kids' family dynamic, and you know, I never lost a parent like that, you know. I know little people who have, and so it's kind of like I know the adult perspective, so I'm gonna just, you know, tell that side with permission. But yeah, there's gonna be some more not darker, heavier for him. Yeah, and it's good.
It is. It is.
A happy family, and I like to keep them happy, and just they're so cute.
They really are. And I love the fact that you took advantage and you used it so thoroughly. The invisible character, we talked about it like a long time ago, using the invisible character where you don't see the person at all, but yet you can still kind of build a bond with them through the storyline. Like we didn't meet his sister.
No.
But yet, you know, because we relate to Karamu, we kind of like feel what he was going through losing his sister as he did.
Yeah.
And then of course they've got their niece now. So seeing Hazel as a girl mom has been very interesting.
Yes. And I think she really likes it. I think that she's really loving it, and they're bonding really well. But you know, she doesn't want to overstep that like auntie to a mom. And it's kind of a weird, you know, at what point you don't want to disrespect the person who's passed away and take their position and everything. But
exactly, that's true.
Listen to the child and go with the child's needs. And yeah,
I like that you have them going to therapy though.
Yes, because
I think that's really, really key. I mean, in life, period.
Yeah.
anytime any tragedy takes place, it's important to, find the right console that can really help the family unit in that time of grief.
Yeah, because losing something like that is just, that's a wound that, a little person doesn't know. Most adults don't even know how to like fill that void. And so therapy, I think, is good.
It is. It is. I was watching a show. I think it's called like Fiance or Family, or Family or Fiance. My kids always tell me I get it mixed up. It's one of the two. It's either Family or Fiance. And these people have to spend it's a reality show. They spend 3 days, and there's, with both sides of the family, they're trying to get the family to bless their union. So this one episode, there was a young man, similar position as far as with Hazel's niece, where he lost his mother. I think he was 15, and he never went to therapy, and he had a hard time adjusting from it, and didn't really bond well with his fiance, and didn't really, he had self issues. So I say that because it's a real life situation where people do lose their family members and their parents at young ages. And so I like that you're putting in that element as far as how to heal in a healthy way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and just trying to be that supportive parent, adult figure in any way for, just,
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm very interested to see how her storyline continues to grow, and how you're able to manage Hazel and Karamu as they stay in their position as aunt and uncle, but still embrace her.
Yeah.
And her being able to grow. So I so far I'm job well done. I'm enjoying it. I do. I do. So we've talked about let's see. We did talk about Jolene. I'm trying to think who I had on that flyer as well. Oh my God, that's your mini me. I was like, oh my God, yeah, the mini me.
Yeah, then one of Tammy's outfits. Tammy makes the doll clothes. Just sitting here, yeah.
I think it's her Etsy Tammy Boutique.
Yeah.
Tammy's Boutique.
Tammy's Mini Boutique.
There you go.
Oh my God.
Tammy's Mini Boutique.
Sorry, Tammy, if I didn't, but her clothes are amazing. They're so adorable, so well made. Yeah. And you're like, this is so crafty and creative. Oh, yes, well done, Tammy.
They really, really are. I want to get more pieces from her. I only have one piece right now, but I do want to get some more. I'm loving that white dress that Rowan had on.
Oh, yes. And that, oh my gosh. Let me grab it really quick because it does have the name on it. She's a doll.
Oh, I thought that was Tammy's. Because Tammy's is because those are usually like the white lacy ones too. So I was like, oh, okay, that must be Tammy's.
This one?
Yes.
So this is, let's see if you can see the tag.
Milky.
I'm always worried I'm going to say it wrong, but that is this, and actually, Maeve's boots that she was wearing, the pink boots, are also made by that same account. So
I think it's Milky. I think that's how, but if you saw the logo, then you'll be able to go to it. But it's nice. It's very, very nice. Yeah, because most of Tammy's, she has that really nice boho look. I love it.
Oh,
I love it. Very nice, comfy. Yes.
So my mini is usually always in Tammy's stuff because it's just me. So
either Tammy or I made it better too. That's usually yes.
The dress that my mini was wearing in the post earlier was one made by her as well. It's just, it was gorgeous. It looked like a suit, but a dress. It was perfect.
Yes.
Wedding.
I'm waiting on her to get an Etsy shop again. Please, if she's been really doing a whole bunch of designs, and I'm like, okay, we're ready. No. She's like, look, deep pockets. I'm like, I want deep pockets. So now I love the way you're using your mini. I do. Now I haven't really quite figured out, like I said, I was going to use her as my little mini Sheeta. I haven't really done very much with her quite yet, but I am inspired by how you use yours. As far as I am. I'm not going to do it like that, but I'm so inspired. I'm not, because I'm not going to plagiarize. I'm going to do my own, but I love it though. I love it.
Only so many ways we can post with dolls. Thank you. Mommy plays Barbie's account. Her Meadow doll is always in these super creative, just, and so I kind of am inspired by her, and so I'll take like a set that I'm working on and just stick her in it, and it's just behind the scenes. Or if I just, honestly, when she goes to a party or a wedding or an event, it's because I don't have time to change clothes and another doll and then put them back because I have everything set for something. So the reason is because everybody's set for more pictures that I'm doing after this. So that's why it pops up.
But it works. Like, you didn't even have to tell us, it works. I love her involvement. I do. Like the way that she introduces certain scenes before it comes, or she'll talk about the outfit, or she'll talk about like how beautiful the day is and she's on her bike. She's just, I like it a whole lot. And then like when you had the one, I think it was an awards show.
Oh, that was,
they were attending an award show.
Yeah, the oh my goodness, I'm terrible with account names today, but he's from England. And Adrian's Doll Life. That was so much fun for me. I was pressed for time, so I'm like, I need to figure something out. And I'm like, what would an award show? Perfect. It's just totally, yeah. That was a lot of fun. I really love when people throw an event that I'm like, I need to go to that and I need to come up with something. Push creative, different. So I appreciate everything.
You did so great. Oh yeah. People have been commenting. They were talking about how talented that you were, which you are. Let's see here. We got Ash Harbor's on here and my froggy stuff.
Hi, Mandy.
Oh, hello, doll. I love your photos, Dolldom, but also enjoy that your stories aren't always about life being perfect.
Because life's
so very
not perfect. Thank you. To get to your after, you got to go through the frogs and the gross swamp pit.
You do. You really, really do. My little curvy world. Hi, how are you? She said, spoiler, yes. Such talent, yes. Oh, Mr. Fluffigan said party time. That was when we were talking about the Halloween party. Yes. So we thank everybody who's on here. Looks like I see Rose World. Oh, golly, Miss Dolly's on here. Dido Dollhouse. So we thank you guys for joining. But yes. Being able to use I like the cat. I need more cat. So Mr. Fluffigan said.
Time right now. And dolls kind of have to take a little bit of a back burner during the week, so that's why I'm appreciative for the weekends.
I know, right? I understand. I do. Oh my goodness. I did like with my last photo shoot, I did like a whole bunch of pictures, because I knew with time being pressed and so forth, it was like, let me get in as much as I can. But I was like so just overwhelmed by my last photos because I had all this stuff around me.
You're tired and you're like, someone else is gonna need to clean this up.
Yeah. So you try to get in what you can. So if you're able to, if you're able to have those set days where you're able to do your photos, it's like, man, I'm a little jealous, but yeah, I just try to get it in when I can.
I've got a very wonderful family and support system. We have our family time on the weekends. We really do connect and everything. And then it's like everybody go to your respective corners and just decompress for a little bit. And so it's good.
See, mine, they like to, because I get the 10, so it's just it's constant. It's like, go get a book. Go get a book. But it's good. They'll probably get older and then they'll want their own time, and I'll be trying to get them to, give me attention. So who knows? Right now I'm go somewhere real quick. But no, it's not a bad thing. It's just parenting sometimes can be a little bit stressful. Yeah.
A lot, but it's rewarding. So
it is. But I will admit, parenting has helped to push me into the hobby that I'm in right now, because it is rewarding and it does give me that time away to just kind of, do my own thing. And also in the process, like we said, with this whole thing, being able to put those uncomfortable storylines out there, to help in the healing process. So, because we all have something that we need to heal from.
Yeah.
You know, we all do. So even if you have like a storyline that's very, very cheerful and you don't have the heavy topics that we do, you know, maybe that's something that helps you to heal. You know, that's something that helps you to be able to process whatever you've gone through in life. It doesn't have to be anything bad. It could just be like a long day at work, but being able to, yeah, you know, just being able to have your dolls, you know, kiss and watch TV. You're like, yes.
I agree.
So, do you have anything, any questions, any comments, anybody? Or do you have anything that you want to add?
This was fun.
You're fine.
Sorry.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine. It's always fun when we talk. I always enjoy it.
We'll work on more of the cat. I'll work on it.
Oh, goodness. Well, I imagine Mr. Fluffigan's going to have a lot to say as Margot gets bigger and expands in her pregnancy, and, you know, Donnie, whatever because he really loves interacting with Donnie.
Crack me up. Well, we have a cat, and it's so funny because my husband was so against a cat. Like, we could not get a cat. He was like, I hate cats. I'm allergic. Need a cat. And we got a cat. And I will find him like before bed, like, all right, buddy, you have a good night. Like, saying good night to the cat. Sorry. And I like, we're just bonding. The man who hates cats. So yeah. Big puffy.
Oh yeah. It's a good thing. It's definitely a good thing. So I'm looking forward to Mr. Fluffigans because I think last time we saw him, I'm thinking of the one, and it's not the exact last post. It was one of the last posts where he tripped on me.
Yeah.
Outside. He said they broke me down.
Yeah. Well, it was cute. Yeah, I like the antics. I think that the dog, Horace, the dog, the poop bandit, is.
I was just thinking about that guy, the neighbor Edward. Like, I was just thinking about him, and then you brought up the dog. Yes.
Yeah, Seymour, Dr. Seymour. That was all Fluffykins. Yeah.
I loved his name, though. I was like, oh, wow.
It's so bad. It's so bad. It's funny. It's just, yeah. So I think Fluffykins and Horace are going to have like a neighborly nemesis thing where he's like, you know, got the narrative of the cat and the dog being like, what? I'm going to poop in your yard again. Watch me. Like,
I'm so here for it. I am so here for it. Yes. Yes.
That's probably, yeah, we'll see that more. I just actually front yard of Margot's, so it's going to look a little different in post.
Okay.
Driveway and like an entryway, so it's going to look a little different when you guys see it, but we're expanding. We're working on the backyard over here, so there's a hot tub and stuff. So
ooh,
yeah,
I like it.
I know.
I like it.
It was a planter box I found at the Mountain Hardware store, and I'm like, you look like a hot tub. Perfect. So
that's great.
I learned that
I like
my froggy stuff. It's like you can turn anything into something. It's just amazing. So
that's very, very true. I'm gonna be honest with you. I get a little bit frustrated because we'll be, you know, going through stuff, about to throw it away, then I'll find something and I'm like, oh, this could work. And then I'm like, what could this work for though?
Our oldest, I call her my tinker brain. She can turn anything into something. Like, she's really good at tinkering, and I'm like, fix this, make it into something, and you could make that into a shelf. I'm like, oh, okay. So like, talk to your kids if you can't figure it out. Help.
I agree. I fully agree. Because because my girls, they are good at that. So I've got to talk to them more, because I'll be looking at it and I'm just like, what could this be? This could be a chair. You don't want to make everything into a chair. I'm like, chair?
Please be a chair. Yeah, I have a couple of projects. I'm like, this is going into, I'm not quite sure what you're going to have a big bin of. You're going to be a something project someday. So I would be better at cutting the foam core. I'm terrible at that. I don't know how she does it, but I'm like, mine looks like a shark bit it. Like, it just, I'm going to be honest.
I am a crafter in training. Because I used to do a whole lot of crafting when I was younger, but now I'll admit, like, I don't think my focus is maybe the same. I don't know, because like I try to sit down and do it, but then I think I just got all these like little different time limits going on in my head. Like, okay, you can't go over 45 minutes because you got to go do this, you got to go do that. And then it kind of takes away from me having that dedicated focus on cutting the windows and
the windows, or like Mandy's Couture with the crochet. I'm always baffled how I'm like, how do you stay so focused to do that? Like, I can't. Kudos.
Exactly. And I love her work. She's another one that you buy stuff from, and I got some hats from her. So any of your crochet needs and stuff, Mandy. Yeah, she also does like the baby blankets. And
when she sent me that beautiful like blanket that Margot's always wearing, it's gorgeous, like perfect. You want to sit by the fire. I'm like, why can't I have a big one? Like,
I used to crochet before kids.
Oh,
I used to crochet. I've tried to teach my kids how, but I will admit that's just like not one of my strong points on teaching them how to crochet. I will admit that. Like, I could teach some other stuff, but like the crochet, I'm like, you just loop it right here. Why aren't you? And my mom taught me, and she's left-handed.
Oh,
so I do like a backward stitch.
Oh,
and it works for me.
Huh.
My mom taught me how to crochet. So I end up teaching them, but I teach them
the way that you were.
My way.
Oh, weird. Interesting. That's I can't.
So it makes a really unique stitch. I used to make blankets and scarves and some hats, but I just haven't really had the time to because it takes time.
Yeah.
To just do it.
Well, I had tried, I will admit, a really bad Pinterest fail. I did an arm knitting with my best friend one year. We were like, we're going to arm knit a sweater or like a scarf or a blanket. It looked like a really bad fishing net by the time I was done. And you can I have to go to the bathroom. What do I do? Like, I'm not good at knitting arms or sticks or anything. Like, it looked like I could holes this big. I was like, hey guys. It was I'm not a crocheter. Yeah.
But practice. If you like it, if you like it, it'll start. Because like my very first crochet project, I think I redid that one like 5 times. Like, I did it and I just like took it all apart.
All that work.
And, yeah, I know. And so I was like, okay, this isn't right. I ended up giving it to my cousin Mary because she was in a nursing home, and so she had it on her lap. But yeah, that was not my best work at all. And now that I haven't been doing it in so long, I don't even know what. I probably have to do it over and over again. But I can only imagine what it's like doing it on like the 1/6 scale.
Yeah, that's too. It makes my hand.
Yeah. So that's why I'm like, I'll just go to her Etsy.
Her Etsy page is amazing, guys.
It is. So we're giving all kinds of shout outs on here. Definitely go to her page for it. She does like cardigans, because your mini has some cardigans.
Panty sets. I like the panty sets. Rose is always wearing those.
Oh yeah.
The baby sets. I have actually.
Purses. I finally got a purse. I was like, yes.
She makes.
Look at that. Oh, goodness.
So yeah, those tiny little things she can do. Check her out.
Yes, yes, yes. So I don't think I have any other questions other than where do you get your storylines from? So if someone has a storyline that they really want to, that they want to get out there and they want it to be a heavy topic to kind of keep their storyline going, what would be your advice about where they can get storylines from?
I have to like put myself into a mindset, if that works. Like, like I'm gonna talk about this, I'm gonna photo shoot, like photograph this, put music on that maybe might make an emotion come or something, or watch a show, or if you're trying to get into that, because sometimes it's hard to like put yourself into a dark place, to like, I've had a really good day, I really don't want this. It makes me sad, and it's kind of hard sometimes to be like, okay, ready, let's just,
You're right,
and then go do something fun. But yeah, just maybe, I don't know, like listen to what you want to say, and then if you don't want to express, but you fully your truth, how would somebody else say it? If somebody was telling you the story, how would it sound? And put that out there. So sometimes if I can't find the words, I'm like, okay, well, if somebody was to come to me, what would my reaction be? What would my feelings towards it be? And then that's kind of will give me the inspiration, if that.
Yes. That makes a whole lot of sense to me. I know, like I've shared before, my storyline with Courtney was not from my own personal experience. It's from a friend that I grew up with.
Yeah.
And she actually bears your same name, and we grew up together. And she went through something, that was basically the same kind of storyline, where she was left and her mom took all the other siblings but left her with her dad. And it wasn't that he was a bad person. He was a gambler, he was an alcoholic, and then we learned later on that he would actually leave her at home. And I was like, why didn't you, I didn't find this out until I was in my 20s or like late teens. I was like, why didn't you come over? Why didn't you tell me? But she would be like 7 or 8 years old, and he would leave her to go gamble or whatever the case was, and just have her at home by herself.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that. And we were playing. We were best buddies. And she just really kept it to herself. So she had to grow up early. And it always really did stick with me. Yeah. And so it was her story was her own story, but it still became a part of who I was. And although we ended up kind of like growing apart because our life just went in different directions, it was still something that was there that needed to come out. So with Courtney, I'm able to do that. And then there's some other storylines that's way more personal.
Yeah.
That, that's attached to who I am, my personhood. And so being able to use the doll in order to get that out helps tremendously. And then there could be some storylines that are just, just throwing out there from something that I may have seen on TV, and let's explore and play with it. So it doesn't always have to be like something that's just right here on my heart. But I will admit, with homegirl Devin, who I just put in a storyline, I don't know if I'm going to have her on there more or if it was just like like those 2 posts. But she said about wanting to be a nun. And that actually was something that I had wanted to do. For a long period of my life, I have felt that I was called to be a nun. And
That's cool.
Yeah, and I even went to a Catholic school. So, but I had that desire to be a nun in elementary and in middle school. And I went to, the convent to have the nuns tutor me.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, they had very old ways of doing math, and they had no clue how to do the math work I was doing. And so I ended up showing them how to do the work. But I just felt like I'm supposed to be here because this is where I'm predestined to be. And of course, life ended up happening. I like boys too much, so
Happened.
Yeah, so yeah. So I ended up not being the nun. But that was something that I was able to throw in there for my own personal life.
I like that though, because it's like, you're like, I'm reading, I'm like, okay, like, okay, be a nun, but that's funny. That's like, hear that, okay. But for it to be true, that's so funny. Like, I like it.
Yeah. I really did. That's what I thought I was supposed to be. My mom was trying to understand that for a while, but yeah, it at that time, and there's times even now where I'm like, was I supposed to be a nun? Is this why it's such resistance, a spiritual resistance? But no, I believe that, everything's planned out the way it's supposed to. And, I made the decisions that I wanted to, that I needed to make. So I don't have anything against nuns, that's what they need to do. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, they're upholding an order, and that's good for them. But like I said, I enjoyed bedroom stuff too much. Obviously, because I have 10 kids. So that was not going to work. That wasn't going to work. So everything happened where it's supposed to. But that was actually something that was pulled from a personal desire that I had. And I was able to put that out there with her.
I love it.
So yeah. It could just be like something really, really, really small where you're able to get it out of you, like, got that out there.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's kind of where Rowan's is going. I need to get the scariness out. It's scary season. I have to tell you, I am really like, maybe I'm too superstitious, but like people are, they're commenting, oh no, don't do that. Don't play with the Ouija board. I have the board like hidden in here. Like as soon as I was like wrapping it up, putting it away. Like I was like, I know I this on, but it scares me.
It does. Now, have you had, before we like wrap this all the way up, now have you had any situations with ghosts or, spirits?
Yes. When my husband and I were first new in our relationship, he was living in a house with roommates, and he lived in the basement, and the house was purchased because the previous owner had passed away in the house. And I'm not going to say any names or anything, but so when he was living there, the basement was not finished, and so it had like a cement floor, and we'd be down there watching movies, and you could hear like what sounded like old man house slippers shuffling across the floor towards the door. And so there was those experiences. And when I was younger, I lived at the beach, and we lived not far from a lighthouse. It's very well known to be haunted. It's in Newport. And we had a swing set in our backyard, and one swing would swing at night, just like heavy, like there was a weight on it, and we would just hear it squeaking at night around like 2, 3 in the morning. And my dad, very strong, he took the swing set down. Like he was like, nope, we're not at night outside our window, and it was not windy, but one swing would move when there was 2 others. So yeah.
Wow.
I've experienced things, but yeah. I did actually, I personally caught a photo. I was shooting a wedding at a historical hotel on the Columbia Gorge. And it was a wedding, and it was the reception. And I was going through the photos, editing them, and I got to one where there was like a waiter, but there was a mirror behind him, and there was a bellhop apparition, like chest to head. You could see his like bellhop cap to the side, and gives me chills. He was at the wedding when I was there, but apparently he was there in spirit. So the couple were so excited about the photo that they took it to the hotel and showed them, and they're like, these were the bellhop costumes from the 30s. And I was like, yeah. So I have experienced some things, but yeah.
Yeah, because I'm about to say, like, when you said the bellhop on the side, it's like, that is not even a modern day outfit. That's like a long time ago.
You could see like his mustache. He had a little short mustache, and you could see his eyebrows and everything. And
Wow.
editing, and I think I was actually pregnant with our youngest at the time, and I just stopped and I was like, I turned towards Matt and I was like, this man was not there when I took this photo. Like, so scary what you can catch in photos.
That's so very, very true. That is so very, very true. There are some comments. Let's see here. My froggy said, my froggy stuff said, grown up talk with a smile. Sister Act, LOL, said my little curvy world. Dido Dollhouse said, I became Muslim because I see them in Islam. They are called Dijan, I do believe. I don't want to mess it up, but I do believe that's how you say it. But I'll be very honest. And I think that's one of the reasons why your storyline with Rowan gets to me so much, because I've grown up. Pretty much almost every house that we've had has had some type of spiritual entity in it. Even when we lived in Detroit. So when you said that there was the old man that died in the house, my mother and I used to live in a house when she was married to her second husband, and the old man who lived there before had died. And she was saying how she would cook or would be baking chocolate cake and how strong the chocolate was, and then all of a sudden you would smell this really foul smell like walk by. And it was really, really bad. We would get bit. It was definitely time to move. It was definitely time to move. And that particular second husband was a raging little maniac. And I hate to say little maniac, but he was quite a horrible character, and he became even worse in that house. Very, very worse. So, as far as just the domestic violence that was there. And then, so they, of course, didn't stay married very long. And he was even abusive with me as far as just like, locking in the closet and so forth. But I believe that the reason why it was on that level was not excusing him, because he actually came from an abusive situation. He and his sister came from an abusive house. So I'm not saying that he didn't know better, because he should have known better, but he was still carrying that out.
Right.
But I believe that what was in the house even made it more exaggerative. So he was quite abusive, and then we ended up moving from there, and she ended up divorcing him. But even where we moved where we live right now, in the state where we live, I'm telling you, like, there's always something that has been there. We lived in a house on Edgeland. In that particular house, we went into the closet space, and you open up the door in the closet, or I'm sorry, it's the attic space, and you open up the door of the closet in the attic. There was a mirror, and on the mirror had pictures, and this guy is like conjuring up some stuff. Yeah, so we had just moved there, and we were like, oh my God, like, and he had a pot, and he was just conjuring up stuff, and Mom's like, oh, well, maybe it's just like a Halloween thing. But in that house was such weird activity, such very, very weird. And even where we live right now, this is like houses way later, because we moved a whole lot. Houses way later, my kids say that they see a little kid. They've seen a little kid, and they've seen a woman in the house as well. And, they'll describe her and so forth. And we're like, we just have to, continue to stay, prayed up, continue to, stay encouraged. Because they really don't have, as long as they're not being intrusive or invasive or abusive, anything like that, then, I mean, we're pretty much cool.
Right.
They may be here just trying to, figure out what they're going to do. But, as long as we're just kind of like leaving them alone, then everything's all good. So that's kind of how we are with it, quite honestly. We've kind of, when things fall, like even while we're doing this live, I had something fall right beside me. And so I've just learned, I'm like, as long as I'm not, being all fearful about it, stuff happens. We shared with our children, there's nowhere that you can really move where there's not going to be some type of spiritual activity. Just honestly. Yeah. There's been wars and battles that's been fought, and people have died, and then, homes get built on top of old cemeteries. Where are you going to go?
Right.
So you just have to be like, I'll give you your piece, and you just give us some peace, and we're fine.
We'll be good.
We'll be good. Exactly. We'll be good. I'm not gonna, I'm not trying to intrude on you or anything like that, but exactly. My mom said, "Oh yes, but not the fool." What are you talking about? My mom, I don't know. She said, "Oh yes, but not the fool." She must be talking about, it seemed like some of the messages come afterwards, but I'm thinking that she must be talking about the ex-husband because he didn't get bothered as much by what was going on in the house.
Oh.
But it was quite crazy. So when I read Rowan's experience, I'm like, wow, especially like when you had him sitting on the bed. And there's been so many different reports because we watched, different stories like the ghost stories and stuff. And they'll talk about people sitting on the bed.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was just like, wow.
To do those, I've been listening to a lot of podcasts, true ghost story podcasts. Instead of doing music, I've just been listening to so many ghost stories. Like over one's done, I put the next one on until I get. And sometimes, like I said, it's like it gets me so like I'm trying to do this, and it's like you almost feel like someone's right there with you, and because when I'm doing it, it is nighttime, and I have one light that's on, and so it's darker. It's like I'm making my ghost story. I
know, right? But the cool thing about that, when we talk about storyline content development, it's important to research.
Yes.
So even when it comes to something like this, where we're talking about supernatural entities, research it. You don't want to just be like, I think this is what ghosts do. I think this is how someone would feel if they're being haunted. Research it. Because there's so many stories out there.
Oh, yeah. Get inspiration through other people's stuff.
Yes. And someone, let's see here. The second one. So yeah, my mom was talking about the ex-husband. Dido Dollhouse said they are not death people, though. They are made out of fire like angels are made out of light. And you have good ones, bad ones, just like us.
Oh, yeah.
That's true. That is true. So, yeah, you have some that are just, they're here, they're wandering. Some of them that, this is, they're not really, they may be trapped. Then you have some angry ones. I really, other than the ones that we encountered when I was in Detroit, I really have not had any angry ones.
That's good.
Yeah, I really haven't. I think one time at a house before we lived right here, I was babysitting a little girl and she was asleep. She was like knocked out. So I was like, okay. I closed the door. She was sleeping on the couch in the living room. I left her alone. I was like, okay, she's fine. And she woke up. We had these glass doors. They were like French doors. And she was just banging on it. And it freaked me out. And I went to her, make sure she was okay, comfort her. I was like, what's wrong? She said she saw this little boy and his face was disfigured. And yeah, some are lost. And his face was disfigured. So it freaked her out. Come to find out, talk to the neighbors, they were like, oh, there was a little boy who used to live in the house and he died of cancer.
Oh, God.
So, and he lived like in the upstairs area that I was in. But then it's even more creepier because there is a little boy that my kids see in this house. So I'm like, did he travel with us?
Oh. Like, kids, draw me a picture if it looks.
Oh, no. Because they can't travel with you. So yeah, it's definitely like I said, that story resonates not just with Halloween, but really life experiences. That people do live in houses like we do that may have a little extra spiritual stuff going on. So I like where you're going with it. And even with the Ouija board, which I'm not a fan of the Ouija board. So when you said about hiding it, I was like, I am not.
Oh, embarrassing. I printed it out at work, the little one. I tried to. The little tiny, and it like took over the printer and it was printing sheets this big to like piece together and make a big one. And I was like, what did I do? I broke it was awful. My coworker, well, it wasn't awful, but like my coworker was like, cancel. She got us out of it. But my coworkers are very patient that I work with the next day. They were like, who is looking up a Ouija board on here? I was like, that was me.
Like, hey, it's Halloween. It's Halloween, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have not. I have not, and I don't really plan on messing with it because I believe that there's like the whole other dimension that's there right here with us. And so I'm like, that's enough for me. I don't have to communicate with you. We're fine. Exactly. I don't.
Respectful. Like when I went to write the words for that post, like the question, I had to go table with my family because I was like, I need to be around you guys. I'm just gonna write this really quick because it's scary.
It was. And I will admit, like when Jolene was sitting on the chest and she was like, "You did it so good. I told you, you were like the queen of cliffhangers. You are." You said when you had like Jolene say that she didn't want to bring it back out again.
I'd only do this once.
What is it? Yeah, I was like, what is it? What is? I had no clue.
No clue. No, and that was wasn't supposed to happen that way. I was gonna have her like open it and pull it out, but the board is so much bigger than the little trunk was that it looked like, oh, pow! Like it just wouldn't fit. So that was a cliffhanger unintentionally.
It worked. It worked. I mean, it worked. Just like the cliffhanger you had with Jolene and Patrick. You said it was unintentional, but it worked so good. And that one worked perfect. I really did. I enjoyed it. I loved it. I didn't know what was going to come out of the trunk. And then, of course,
I didn't either. I got stuck. So.
Yeah, and then it I don't know about anybody else who, in the audience who read it or who's going to read it when you go to her post. But when you did that, I was like, what else do we not know about Jolene?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I've kind of started, like I may have lit a little light towards her path. Like I might need to go down that route. I have your journal, my character journal. I will add to that. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Then here I'll write it out. But because I mean, Rose has kind of hinted that Jillian struggled in college. There was something that happened, and she struggled and had to like go away to, like just to get back. And so maybe we'll go into that. I don't know. I just finished her. That post was the first one I got a photograph, and I'm so happy with how it turned out. So Jillian will probably definitely be in more because I like her apartment a lot.
I like her apartment, but I'm really liking her. At first, I didn't know how I felt about her. I'm gonna be honest with you. I really didn't know how I felt about her, but I could tell that Patrick was, messing with her emotionally. That's why she attacked Rowan. But I still didn't know.
Yeah.
But then, like, the more that you put her into the story, I'm really loving her. And then like the comfort that she gave to Rowan when she was hugging her. I love your photos, but it's just like each time you just like outdo yourself. These last photos, it was just such connection that you put there. And of course, we're dealing with our dolls that are, everyone may have their own thoughts. I know they're inanimate, but they still have molecules. The molecules still move, so they're still real for us. And the way that you had them and the chemistry that those two share when she was just like holding her, and then Mauve comes in like, trying to find out what's going on. It was beautiful. And then the post you had before that with Mauve and Rowan, and I told you that. I said that last photo. And it looks like someone's looking at them, but because you're doing this whole thing with the ghost, it's like, are we looking at them or is the ghost looking at them?
See, and I just wanted to try and capture a moment through the little and see how the plexiglass looked that I was shooting through. But when I shot it and went through and looked back, I was like, oh, that's weird because I can't tell if I'm peeping at them or if it's just a cute sister moment. Like, it was fun. It was a happy accident. That's what that was.
Yes! No, I love Bob Ross.
Bob Ross reference.
Yes, and it worked so perfect. It did. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see what's going to happen with Rowan's story. And of course, Finn, seeing him work into this picture, but that's like a whole nother subject because we're talking about uncomfortable storylines. Which, I guess we could kind of maybe talk about how he's on an uncomfortable storyline because he had to go back to Ireland.
Yes, he did. He's part of I don't really know what kind of business he's in, but I haven't figured that out yet. But he needs to sell his portion. He's a young guy, maybe a young entrepreneur. I don't know, but he just needs to go be with his lady. I think, which I didn't intend when I was writing out yesterday, Rowan and her sister talking back and forth. I always heard and thought that Finn and Rowan had met just while she was her family, like this romance started. But then, like, adding her sister in, it totally went a different way than I had even planned. That, oh, they went to school together and they're from a small town and they actually know each other. So, like, now I'm like, oh, okay, we're going somewhere else. So sometimes I'm not driving the car, I don't think, just
I'm glad you said that, though. I'm so glad that you said that, because as a storyline tip to the audience, and for those who can probably already relate to us, like, we may have in our minds as the writer or the admin a thought of how our characters met or what their story is. And then as you dialogue, and especially as you add in new characters, it can end up making that story go a whole nother direction than where you actually thought it was.
Oh, yeah. I didn't think that Jolene was going to stick around super long at first, but once I put her on, like, the more made to move body, it was like she had a little more life to her, and I was like, I can't let you go yet. So my oldest, she was actually working on, she told me that I should go through each character and kind of give them a little bio. She's like, Mom, you've done so much. People don't remember all the storylines. And she goes, my sweet babe, she's like, I can help you save them on your story. And I was like, cool, thanks. You know, my tech savvy kid helps her mom out. But yeah, I think we're going to start working on that, is trying to do bios, because I really like the accounts that do that, kind of, and like you were doing with your stories, kind of the last few days, your posts, like you would post a picture of Gloria and it's like, okay, I see you. That's my girl. She's so yeah, I really liked how you kind of did that. It's like, we're going back into Gloria. So it kind of made me kind of go back and be like, oh, where was Gloria's at? I need to refresh really quick. So I really like that you did that. And
Thank you. Yeah, it helps me. It helps me stay organized. And I'm going to tell you where I got it from. I'm going to be very honest with you. I got it off of 90 Day Fiance.
Oh.
It's a reality show. And so you can pull from different areas, guys. But yeah, I was watching 90 Day Fiance. And right before they show that couple's, storyline, they'll show the picture of the couple.
Okay.
And I was like, wow, that's really nice, because now I'm being introduced to who the story is going to be about.
Yeah.
Versus just going right into the next storyline. And I told Darren, I was like, yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that with the dolls.
Where were we at with them? I need to go back. And I kind of like caught up, and yeah, it was good. I liked it.
Cool. Thank you. That lets me know. And that's the awesome thing about doing our storylines on Instagram, is because we do give each other feedback. So we are able to know, like, what's working, what's not working. I had a situation where I did the storyline actually with Gloria and Courtney, and a question came up, and I'll be honest with you, I was kind of stumped. I was like, I really don't know how to answer that. So I had to go back and actually do some mental work as far as, like, age-wise, and why didn't they know about this little girl and all this other stuff. And then and then a storyline developed out of it. Like, okay, well then Mama Catherine was just really wild, and then, she was also very, what would be the word, just very determined to do what she wants. And that she would go to any length to do it.
Yeah.
And so her going back to the dad's house in order to finish out the pregnancy, really does show how devious minded that she was, and at the same time wanting to cover up her, just cover her tracks. So yeah, so when that question was posed, it was like, oh, I really didn't think that went through all the way. But it was cool because the feedback.
Yeah, no, it did it really well.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. But yeah, I love the feedback. So the comments that you guys make on our storylines that we make for each other, it's gold.
Yeah.
It is.
It's very helpful.
It is. It is, because as an indie writer, like when I write something and then I publish the book, I don't hear comments until if I do a book signing. If I don't do a book signing, I don't hear comments.
Oh, that's...
No, I really don't. I hear more comments when I do my book signing. People come get the book, or if they've already read the book and then they come and they talk to me. Then it's like, oh, okay, I can learn like how that book was helpful, or what character that you liked, what you didn't like. But now the book's already in print. Whereas, yeah.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. It's kind of a nice way. It's like we can help each other edit. I really like how you do that. You're like, okay, I needed that reassurance. I'm going to keep going this way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Up.
Yeah, it is. It's gold. It's gold. And we do have some comments. I saw them coming, but I wasn't able to.
Hi, Mandy.
Let's see here. Who is that? That is, okay. So Daily Adventures of Ash Harbor. Hello. She said, kids see things adults don't see. That's true. They definitely do. They do. Gypsy Soul Doll, we do. LOL. He's really nice to us, though. She's talking about the ghosts. My mother said no about the ghosts. Mr. Fluffigans says Fluffigans don't play that. Creeps me out. Okay, so she was saying no about the Ouija board, and so he said no about creeps me out. They do creep you out. They do. Daily Adventures of Ash Harbor. She said you did amazing. I was hooked, which I'm always hooked. It's true. That's true. We are. Jolene has become interesting, like she has more to say. Exactly. So very, very true.
See?
And she said, I love it. Yes, those are great ways to help us writers. And hey, sweet lady. So yes. So very true. Jolene has so much more to say. We can tell. It's just, I'm so glad you kept her in storyline.
You.
All right, we can almost have like a storyline book club or Instagram club just based off of like your storyline.
Oh, no, fine. But everybody, we could have a group. Yeah.
We really could. But I haven't even talked about Eartha. We'll probably have to talk about Eartha another day. But she doesn't really have as much. But I do want to see, and maybe it's going to happen, maybe it's not. I do want to see if her mom's going to come back in.
Oh,
love you too.
Well, she will. Eartha is, because I put her together, and so her body is not as articulating as I would like her to be. And I've been trying to get a hold of one of those dolls, the new look dolls that looks just like her. So as soon as she gets her new body, once I can get a hold of one, she will be in the story more. But I am terrified she's going to break. So they just stay there. And I them because I just don't want her to break because I love her so much. So, yeah, she will be in more, and her mom will be back, and she has a sister that will show up. So, well,
we're going to make sure she's back in there, aren't we, guys? We're going to make sure. Articulated bodies on the way. Yes.
Get her a body. And I know people really want her to have a baby, but it's just not in the cards for Eartha. Eartha doesn't have, it's not in her cards. So I'm sorry.
That doesn't really bother me. Like, it would be cool for her too. Hello, Doll Buzz. It would be cool for her too. It's just personality wise, it just doesn't seem like where she's at with things. I mean, shoot, she's with, Sai's like older and stuff. I'm not saying that he couldn't be a dad, because he could. Men can go for many, many years, but I feel like when she got with him, like she'd already knew in her mind, like, I'm with you, not with I'm with you because I love you. I'm not with you with the intention of trying to start a young family too.
Well, and in one of the posts, I don't even know, it was like when they first went on a date, she mentioned she doesn't actually have the ability to have babies because she had endometriosis so bad, which was a personal for me. I was fortunate enough to have babies, but some people sadly are not, and it's terrible. And I knew that was going to be a touchy one to tell, but I still have positive outreach from it and everything. So it's really.
I do remember that, and I'm glad that you just say that, because actually that was the same thing here. I had cysts on my ovaries, and they were like, "Oh, she probably won't be able to have kids, but there's a possibility that she could. You know, it's just, it really, really does depend. And I had like extremely painful cycles and still have issues.
Yeah.
And then like my hormone levels would just go down, like, I mean, down. And, you know, just with everything going on. And I've never had perfect attendance in school because when I would start, it would be so painful, I'd have to go home. Yeah, never. You could almost guarantee that once or twice out of that month, I was going to be home because hot water bottle, all that stuff. And I thought that was normal.
Yep. It was normal. You're supposed to be in horrible pain like that. No, you're not. If you are, talk to your doctor. Get help. And if you
I had no clue.
And you know something's wrong, go to a different doctor. Just keep trying because it's your body. You know your body.
I'm so glad you said, because yeah, I really, you know, and it's crazy because I thought that was what's supposed to happen when you start, when you're on your menstrual. And I would see other girls and they didn't go through the same thing.
Yeah.
So I thought, okay, something's wrong with you because this is what supposed to get the hot water bottle. You're supposed to be cramped up and hurt. You know, that's what the cycle is. So yeah, when you do, and like I said, now that you said it, I do remember that post because it made me think about what I used to go through, and even now, what I go through, and it's not easy at all. So yeah, she is part of our uncomfortable topics because she did have to tell him like that's not really something that I'm able to do.
Yeah,
and it messes with your mind. I know someone that I'm close to, and she has endometriosis, and she has an endometriosis fundraiser that she does once a year.
That's awesome.
Yeah. She does an event once a year, and she's an amazing young lady. She really is. I say amazing, but she's well, I say young, but she's actually a little older than me. But she's still young. But yeah, it's she's come to a place now, and I think this is why I'm so close to Eartha. Now that we're talking about it, it's kind of like, I get it. I think I'm so close to Eartha because she kind of reminds me of her, where she's come to a place where she's gotten kind of comfortable, where she's like, you know, I have endometriosis. I've had it this long. I really don't see myself having any children, and I'm okay with it. Like I remember I saw her maybe like 2 years ago, and she was just like, I'm okay with it. I really, you know, I got nieces and nephews. That's enough for me. I'm now kind of like solid on the direction of my career, and I like what I'm doing. So she's gotten into a place where she's like, I like what I'm doing. So that's what I see with Eartha, where she's kind of like, you know, it is what it is.
Yeah.
I'm not going to grieve over something that's not going to happen. I'm just going to enjoy life.
Exactly. And that's, I really admire that about Eartha. And she's like my little inspiration character. I'm like, just be strong like Eartha. Just be strong and don't give up. You know, I suffered a lot of miscarriages, and there was a time where I was like, what's wrong with me? Like, why can't I do this? Why can't I do what I was made to do? And, you know, like to overcome that and be like, it's okay. It's going to be okay. That's just Eartha's mentality. Is just, okay, these are the cards that I dealt. How do I work with them? And just people.
That's very, very, very true.
So.
Yeah, we had one miscarriage, and that was like in between our first and our second. And so it is. It can be very, very heavy to deal with. But then when you say multiple miscarriages, I can only imagine like what it does so much, not even so much with our body, which of course is going to take, a batter, but what goes on mentally.
Yeah.
And so I understand. I relate to where you're at. I don't really understand as far as from multiple, but as far as with one, it is.
I know, or multiple. It's the same thing. It's hard.
So, and then, with my husband and I, we still talk about it. And it hit him, I'll be very honest with you, it hit him a little bit harder than what it hit me.
Oh.
And it still hits him kind of hard because he's like, that was one that we don't have here. And I'm like, well, that would have kind of changed up who we do have, because if that one would have came, then we wouldn't have who we do right now, because it's the order. And, I'm trying to keep this PG-13, but your tadpoles are different each time. So we would have had different children. essentially. But nonetheless, you still have that silent grief over who would have been here.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it is. It's very, and then as a woman, we do feel, and I'm not saying like all, because everyone, identifies differently. So for some of us as women, we do feel that, part of being a woman is giving birth. That's our next thing is being able to have that baby that really does showcase the love and representation of us as a unit,
Exactly.
So I do. I understand. I understand where you're at with that. And it's so beautiful, though, when we, kind of bring it 360 to storyline. You being able to put that out there with Margot's story is what makes it even more passionate and more truthful, because you're not just coming from like something that you read in a book or some pages. You're really putting it out there from what you felt in your heart and from your own experiences.
Yeah, it can be difficult sometimes, and that's something. Just, do you want to push through? Do you want to? But yeah, Margot's experience is personal, so, but it'll be okay. It'll be okay.
Mm-hmm.
Be good.
It will.
So.
You're doing an excellent job. Oh, my charger is going. Let me put my charger on. We can talk all day, though, you guys. I'm trying to find my charger. Uh-oh. Husband, did you connect me? I gotta find where he put it. There it is. He does all my setups, so he always has my charger. There we go. I apologize there. Yeah, he always has my charger on there, so I'm like, I know he had it there. There we go. And let's see here. Someone's Gypsy Soul Doll. Definitely we are the life bringers, and life bringers soul gateways. It really is a part of us. It is hard to deal with loss. Yeah, it is. Yes. Yes, I found the charger. Thank you. But yeah, it really is. It's hard to deal with loss.
Yeah.
It is.
And everybody deals with it differently, and whatever way you deal with it is your way, and it's okay to deal with it. There's no handbook to how to deal with things. So
now, when we talked about Catharine's CPI, I was actually, I don't know her own personal experience or if it's someone else or a storyline that she got from TV. So I don't want to, just to put it out there as a disclaimer, I don't want anyone thinking, oh, okay, I'm saying this is her story. But in her storyline for Instagram with Catharine, after she suffered the loss of the twins, we then saw in the recent post that she actually buried the ultrasound picture at the site. Yeah. And I thought that was really interesting. I really, really did, as far as helping, of course, your doll character to heal, but also anyone else who would be reading it who may have suffered a loss, helping them know, like, close the chapter. That when it's time, you can still close that chapter the way that you need to. And then she put on there, that it was the beginning. So it wasn't like, oh, this is it and I'm done. It's like, this is the beginning of that.
Yeah, it was really well done, I thought. And I thought also, connecting people, being like, it's okay to grieve. It's okay. She's doing it. It's okay. Sure, they're dolls. They are dolls. They are wonderful things, but it's the way of art. It's our paintbrush.
It is. It's art. It truly is. It's our art therapy. It's physical. It's tangible art therapy. I mean, people spend hours looking and staring at at different art pieces on, we look at Van Gogh, we look at all these other art pieces that's there at the museum, and we get inspired.
Yeah.
That's the same thing with these storylines. The photos themselves, and then also creating this dialogue allows people to be able to be inspired and to heal from whatever they're going through, because we don't know what people are going through. We just know what we know.
Yeah.
And when we put it out there, it helps, and it helps us. So
good.
I'm inspired by what you write.
Thank you.
And I'm thankful for you putting it out there. I am. I'm really, really, I am. I'm truly inspired by what you write. And I'm glad that you put it out there. And, it really does. It takes courage. It takes courage to put it out there and not feel like anybody's going to say anything, and not feel like what you're putting out there is phony, you know, because you could just put pictures of your dolls just smiling and clothed up and happy, but you're putting stuff out there that's heavy, deep topics, and it doesn't take anything away from that, because I follow accounts that's really joyful. You need that.
Accounts, because they just, like my cozy little cottage, I love her photos. They just make me smile, and so I love the joyful accounts. They help. They can trying to go through something, so I appreciate everyone. Yeah,
exactly. So, you know, we want you to walk away from this conversation with us still being able to do the storyline that's true for you. You know, we have heavier topics in our storylines, and there's times when I feel like, well, maybe I need to have more cheery stuff. Maybe I need to have more.
That's where Fluffykins comes in, because see, then you have a side funny character, daring character.
That is so, and for me, like, I've been using, and I need to use them more, but Heidi and Kai have been like my more funnier characters. And so I know that I threw in the X in one of the posts, but I was like, I'm probably not going to get real detailed with it. You know, it's just like, you know, because things do happen where you end up running into somebody who was somebody's ex. I mean, that's just small world. But I was like, I'm not going to make it a drama thing. I'm just going to make it like a funny thing. I haven't come to how I'm going to make it funny, but I'm like,
I'm excited.
Yeah.
It's funny. It's a good to break up your stuff. You know, have somebody fall. Throw a glass of water. That's fun.
Yeah, because when Rose fell, it was kind of like, what? You guys are supposed to be going on vacation.
I know, and now they're stuck at home, but it was good for them because they got to play games and just be at home, which is good. Just remind you to slow down a little. They're always throttle those too. So they remind me my husband and I would have been like if we, you know, were really young, starting out, and, you know, just kind of cutesy lovers that just, you know, love to be together. Doesn't matter whether they're broken foot or not. So have funny.
I love it.
They are my fun little no drama there. So it's good to have them.
I do. I love that so much. I love that so much. And you do, like, when you have your storyline, you're so true, you know. And I remember during, like, our first conversation about Rose, and you had said how you use them as, like, your commercial break.
Yes. Kind of a commercial break.
I love that.
And see, Margot's kind of into the commercial break mode right now. So she's commercial break lady. And Rowan's more center stage, just until we get to the Halloween party, so.
I got a tip off of that. I like it. So not all the time, this is a tip that I just got. This is the way I receive it with multiple characters. Not all the time your main character is always going to be the center stage. You can literally rotate that thing. So if you have someone that's like a minor character, you can have them kind of have the front stage, the spotlight, and then use your primary character as your quote-unquote commercial break.
Yes.
That is awesome. Like I said, I just got something with that, because sometimes you feel that urgency to always keep your main character as the main, but then this character's screaming at you like, put my story out there.
Yeah.
And you almost feel like minimizing that character so that you can keep your main one as the storyline, you know, mover. But I like that.
It's fun. That was something that kind of like, well, I mean, Dolldom never actually started as like, it's become like, I think a Dolldom is like a show, like, you know, it's just, that's the show. And it originally just started as Margot and Margot's life. And then, but, you know, sometimes life gets boring. And then, you know, that's when it's like these other characters have stronger voices, and you just got to be able to just switch and have this flow almost of your characters. And then it becomes like, I found it was easier for me to balance and not get so overwhelmed. Like, oh, I have all these things I want to do and I can't get them all done. So it was like this balanced stance I did. Like, okay, I want to focus on this one, and then she can stand back, and then this one needs to, you know, and then you can do transition posts like where Rowan goes to Margot for help, and so it's like Margot needs to help her with something, and then Margot's story becomes bigger. So it's, you can just fade in and just layer them. So it's like a dance.
Yes, yes, yes. And partners are all cooperative with it. I really enjoy that. That's such a good tip. And like with my page, I started off with Nita and Tony, but then when Gloria got involved, I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it. I never meant to push Nita and Tony to the side. And my husband and my kids are like, where's Nita? Where's Tony? We miss Tony. So they, when I took these last photos and Tony was there, they were excited.
Yeah.
They were like, oh, yeah. They were actually excited. They were like, good, good. It's good to see Tony back.
Well,
and I never meant to push him to the side.
I had to go back and be like, oh, wow, they haven't been here in a while. Like, and I had to go back. But that's where that picture beforehand, I was like, oh, this is who we're, all right, get ready. Let's catch up. You know, I had to go catch up. But that was good. I'm really glad that you're bringing them back because, you know, you kind of read all these doll stories. You're like, wait, what happened to them? And it's like this new, fresh.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see where you go with it, and the girls and the wedding and.
Yeah. So I'm actually going, and now that we're talking about it, and I love that you brought that up. So Miss Gloria is going to be taking kind of a back seat in a little bit because I do have to bring out their story more, especially with Penelope and her wedding that's coming up. And I've been having that story, you know, like stuck in here for a while and written out, but just didn't get to it, you know, because I was having so much fun exploring her dynamics and what was going on with her. And then what was going on with me. So I needed to come out, you know, but now it's like I feel better where I can be like, okay, let's bring out Penelope and Lawrence and their interaction with her mom and dad. And now, of course, we got the crazy nurse. So that that right there is going to be something really different for me because I've really never written something about somebody being kind of crazy. Except, well, I take that back. I have a book that's out on Amazon called Oh Sweet Irene. And that has to do with a crazy character. So I'm like, wait a minute, let me think about that. There is the book about Oh Sweet Irene, and she was quite a head trip. And I enjoyed writing her. And that has to do with the mother-daughter dynamic. But I enjoyed writing her, and I'm still writing notes as far as like a backstory for Irene's character. So quite honestly, working on Mama Catherine has been helping me on writing the backstory for Irene, as you know, like is what I do as my day job. There we go. I was like my day job. So that's been helping me to write her. But yeah, so this new nurse situation is quite different, and I'm looking to see like how far she's gonna go with her craziness, and just let her go all the way. Just let her go hand with rock the cradle, kind of crazy. So that's what I think of when I think of her. It's like I remember watching Hand That Rocks the Cradle, and she was pretty batsy. Yeah,
that's a good one. That's a good movie. Yeah, that's a good storyline. I'm excited.
Yeah. So I'm excited about pulling that out. But yeah, I enjoy talking to you. You know, I always do. I
always get so nervous before these, and I'm like, because I'm such a quiet, like, don't look at me. But it's so fun. It's good for me to talk to you and see you, and I miss you.
Me too. And you're always so beautiful. Always. My beautiful soul sister, you are. And I enjoy talking to you. I get nervous beforehand too, because you know I truly am an introvert. Like I gain energy. Yeah, I gain energy by myself. Like when I do this one thing where I wake up early and I just I'm off to myself.
Oh.
So my husband, he calls it my solitude time. Solidarity, that's what he calls it. Your solidarity. Oh, did you get your solidarity? That means, as I gain more energy by myself. Like, you know, if I'm reading or if I'm just, you know, and then, you know, being on here with Instagram, you know, looking at different storylines. just that's just I have to have that time to myself. But before I get on lives, I go through like little stomach issues and stuff. I think I have to go to the bathroom. And so I'm not gonna lie to you, I really, really do. And sometimes I do have to go to the bathroom. It's just like the little bubble guts. I'm like, oh, I gotta go. And it's nervousness. That's really what it is.
I don't know why I'm nervous. I'm the same way. I called my daughter. I FaceTimed her like 5 times. Like, how's this look? Do we look okay? Can you hear me? And she's like, yeah, Mom, you're fine. Yeah. I concur. I'm like, people are looking at me, but they're all the people that I just love, and I love everybody, you know. So you're just friends.
Yeah.
So.
But I do. I get it. I get it. I do. I totally get it. Even with like family would come over. Like when we would do like family events, I would have to use, and I will admit, and I don't know who's on here family-wise, but I would actually use the breastfeeding, like nursing, as like my excuse to just kind of like get away. I was like, oh, baby's hungry. I'll be back.
On my phone, like, oh, whoops, like, gotta go. Yeah. I like being at family events because then I'm in the kitchen cooking. You guys can talk, visit. I'm just gonna cook. So, yeah.
Cooking, serving the plates, giving out the leftovers, cleaning up afterwards.
Yes.
Yeah.
And to hide.
Oh my goodness. So yeah, so that's encouragement for you guys in case you're like, hey, how do they do those lives so naturally? No, we go through it.
We do.
We do, but hey, it's fun. It's fun.
Yes.
So I'll look at these last few comments before we go because she's got to go to her family. And I do too. Let's see here.
I'm gonna go take ghost pictures after this, so.
There you go. We have some people who join. Hello, the Great Plastic Adventures. How are you? I see Eliza Silva doll. I see some laughing emojis. I have the same situation. I do get nervous why I don't do lives. I am like, oh no, don't look at me. And Gypsy's Soul Doll said, you seem cool and collected though. Yeah, that's because we're soul sisters. We're able to vibe and connect.
Yes. Gypsy doll. Your doll that you just gave to Q or sent, I don't know how it worked, but it is beautiful. I love her freckles and her hair. Well done.
Yes, I agree. I fully agree. Because that's the one where she put on there Chloe from like the Chloe and Haley group.
Yeah.
Or I say group, but Jewel. So yeah, and I was like, I can see that. I can definitely see that. Yes, she did a great job.
She did.
She did a great job. So yeah, I did. I like that. I like that a whole lot. So
the Great Plastic Adventure 1 doing well.
Yeah.
Art is your life. I appreciate that so much.
Sure do.
Very healing and rewarding.
It is. It is. Oh goodness. This has been such a great live. Like I had such a great time just like sitting here and talking, and you know, we always have such a good time whenever we talk. Either through DMs or like right now.
Yes. It's very, I'm so grateful.
Me too. Gypsy Sold Out said, I love your page and how engaging your pics are.
Thank you.
Yes. Like I said, we do. We love your page. We do. We do. I mean, like your storyline, your pictures, it's amazing. It's phenomenal. And then to meet you. And of course, we still have to meet
I know.
Face to face. I know, right? After all this stuff, you know, kind of, because eventually it will.
Well,
I trust it's going to.
In the middle somewhere. I don't know. Because you're in Ohio, right?
No, I'm in Louisville.
Oh, right. Okay. Sorry.
Mm-hmm. No, you're fine. Yeah.
Yes, we'd have to find some place in the middle.
I agree.
So,
Yes, yes.
or you can also
Right.
and play in the snow. Got a lot of snow, so.
Oh, yes.
I don't know, maybe
Because I'm thinking,
they already had snow on the surrounding hills. It's cold.
you already have snow?
Not at our house, but the hills that just are around us.
Wow.
Snow, and there's snow on the mountain. I live right next to near Mount Hood in Oregon, so it's cold. It's cold.
Wow. No, actually, we still are able to walk outside without jackets.
Wow. I wore my house, my shed. I have a stocking cap just in case it's too cold. Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
from where you're at.
But I love actually, I wish that we had more snow.
Oh yeah, it's so fun.
I do. Because like, in Detroit, we had a whole lot of snow. And then when we would go visit, it would be like a lot of snow. When I was younger, even here, we used to have a lot of snow. Because we actually had like real snow days. But now, snow days are not quite the same. It's just like last year, oh my goodness, it was just a dusting of snow. I remember the kids, like they were trying to make snowballs, and it was just like grass. Just icy grass that they were balling up. I was like, oh man, this is bad. Like I really thought we'd have more snow.
No. Yeah, where we lived in Oregon, like when I grew up, we didn't get a lot of snow. It was like every 10 years it'd be like some, cataclysmic or epic snowstorm, and the whole town would shut down and we'd have snow days and stuff. But in like Portland area, ice is the big thing. You get ice storms and everything was awful. But I think the most we got was like 3 feet at one time. And I was like, this is not fun anymore because you can't even. And you're like, well, it takes a lot of effort to walk in it. So, I mean, there is a limit to snow. There is a limit.
There is. There is. But Margot did have some very beautiful pictures.
Oh, yes, that was fun and cold. My camera actually, like, the lens kind of seized a little because it was so cold outside.
Oh, wow.
We were laying out there on yoga mats, my daughter and I, so.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she put a little playlist together to inspire us with music. But yeah, we were in the snow and we were like, okay, ready. Oh, yeah. And it was like, everything is like drippy and you're like, snow, gotta go inside. Playing in the snow is not as much fun as I remembered.
It's different. But the pictures were so beautiful, though. They really were.
Thank you.
They really, really were.
Have you seen the wedding pictures this weekend? The Matilda and Paul. They're gorgeous.
Ava and Oliver. Yes.
Ava and Oliver. Gorgeous wedding. She did such a great job.
She did. And then right before that, I mean, like, the weddings are it's just hard to really say who's, it's definitely not a competition because everybody does their own thing, But Oh Hello Doll had one.
Oh, hers was so sweet and just perfect and cute. I loved it. I was like, that's like that's me. I love it. So perfect.
Yes. And then she showed the show and then like the setup, and I was like, what?
Yeah. I like
the
candid photos she did, like the little behind the scenes or the shots, because as a wedding photographer, I'm like, oh, I love those shots. Those ones are my favorite. So no one's looking.
Yeah.
Yes. Very well done.
Yeah. It was great. It was great. So, oh my goodness, you like definitely made me want to like do some more pictures afterwards. Hey,
that wedding.
I don't know if you're gonna get involved with it or not, but what is it? The Dalai Lama? She's got like the October.
I keep trying, and I'm like, I have to like focus on this, otherwise I will just go down a rabbit hole of all Halloween madness, and I feel bad because so many great things. I'm like, oh, I want to do that one, but it just doesn't fit. So
I know, and that's the thing with storylines. Like, how does it fit in? Because today she had the mirror, and I was like, oh, because I'm not gonna lie to you, I've been ready since like spring to do a mirror one. And I was like, when Halloween hits, I'm doing one, and today is the mirror one, and I'm like, who can I get? What doll can I pull out to do this mirror?
Ooh, you could have Mama Catherine having a talk with her inner demons. Maybe.
That's true. That is true. I do like that one. And it would still fit. And also I could just do that for like one post without messing up the rest of my storyline. So that's something to definitely think about.
I'm like, can I fit a mirror into what I'm doing today?
Oh, I know. I was like, mirror, that's such a good one. Yeah. I mean, each one of hers is good. Which, I mean, like the Dalai Lama, she always has really nice challenges that she does for the month.
Yeah, I like them. And if I can join and add it into a story, I always try to. But it is challenging when you have a storyline to be like, I really want to go to that, but it doesn't this. That's where the mini-me does come in handy, though. Because you're like, ooh, I can do a side one. And not...
And it doesn't...
And that's your
it doesn't interfere.
Line. So
yeah, so that's actually a tip, you guys, that she just gave. In case you have a mini-me or you're thinking about a mini-me, or you want to get involved with challenges, but you're not able to, you know, change up, it would like really break up the storyline. There goes your mini-me who can, you know, she's not involved or he's not involved with the actual storyline, so they can do those challenges and it doesn't mess up the flow of the story.
Like a socialite, like your doll who's not part of the storyline. It doesn't have to be a mini. It doesn't have to look like you. Like just something that she's just the social one that does all the events. And like, that's the thing. That'd be kind of fun.
I like that. I know, right? I'm like, I like that. I like that idea because then you're able to still do it.
Yeah. Like, Purple Dreams doll. She has her closet set up and she'll use different dolls in there to be like, I'm dressed going to this party. I'm like, that's clever. Because then she's not taking from her storyline unless it can fit in. So that's a neat way.
I like that. I do like that. And so, you know, what we're discussing right now is just some tips as far as how do you keep your story flowing using your mini-me, which we did say we were going to talk about mini-me, but using the mini-me or any of the other dolls that you have where, like you said, they can be the social butterfly, still go to social events, still be able to do the challenges, and it does not interrupt the flow of your story.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that a lot. And I will be using that. So yeah, I'm hoping after we get done with the live, I would love to do a photo for the mirror. I am going to, if I do the Mama Catherine, I'm definitely going to give you some photo cred on that. Because I do like that idea. Well, it's right. It's just right. But yeah, I do. I like that idea. And I'm pretty certain that people are probably like, how is Mama Catherine accepting what's going on right now? So I like that. And someone did
that side of the story.
Because we really haven't heard from her. And for me, like, Mama Catherine is someone that I don't like the direction of how she's done things. I definitely don't believe that it's been helpful for her children. But I'm wanting to put her story out there in such a way where it's almost like she did what she thought she was supposed to.
So she's, making her not, kind of showing the villain behind the curtain. Like, not saying that Mama Catherine's the villain, but, it's like those series of books like Wicked, and where you're telling the bad guy's story, and it's like maybe they didn't know any better, or they did a choice. And I think that's a good twist.
Yeah, or even when you do know better, but it's almost like, because of like who she was married to at first was just like this gooder kind of guy, the good guy kind, and I really want the bad guy, and then I made a series of bad decisions, but I'm so deep in that rabbit hole, I'm gonna keep going with it.
Exactly.
she still could be very truthful and be able to come out of it, but in the same hand, it's like, I've been doing this for X amount of years to the point where this is who I did identify myself as.
Yeah. I know a person personally who I'm like, huh, yeah, that's exactly, yeah. You've kept caught up for so long that you can't put it down now. It's just a part of you. So,
Yeah. But I actually do have a twist coming up, and I can't really say when, but I already took the photos. So I have a twist coming up even when it comes to Courtney. And so I'm kind of excited about it, but I'm also a little bit, I don't know if I want to say nervous, but, it shows the layering, that we all have. Everyone has layers. Just like what Shrek said. He was like, it's like an onion.
Too, but
yeah, with the parfait and the onion. But yeah, we have layers. We have layers, and so no one's just a one-dimensional character. So that's what my aspiration is when it comes to Mama Catherine, and when it comes to with Courtney, and even of course with Gloria and so forth, Anita and Tony, being able to show those layers as far as like their humanness of who they are, their flaws. And so I do. That's I'm just thinking really about what you just said with Mama Catherine, because that kind of changes up my idea with the mirror, but I still like that.
Yeah.
Because I'm starting to go more into the inner thoughts, and so like maybe that would be like that time when we can hear whatever her inner thoughts are.
Yeah. She needs that like voice. I think it's your story. I don't know if she needs that voice. It's your story.
No, talk to me. Talk to me.
What is she thinking? What drives her? Why does she? It would be a good plot line for you, or anybody. Like, because I know, like, maybe if I had given Patrick more of a narrative where he's just by himself, maybe he wouldn't have come across as the bad guy as much. Maybe something happened to him. Or he's just, a bad guy.
I'm so curious to find out. And I don't know if that's why that spirit is haunting her right now, but I'm curious to find out, why did he kidnap Ron? Like, was he just trying to like get her so that they could, he could get her into an isolated place to talk to her, or was he having bad intentions? Like, where was he at with that?
I think I need to wrap that up, but I would, yeah, I think the whole thing with him was he wanted to get her to a place of like, talk to me. I'm so desperate to talk to you. We've all been in those relationships where you want somebody to talk to, or you're the somebody that won't talk to somebody, and that person is so like, look at me, please, like, but you're like, I'm hurt, I don't want to talk to you,
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, yeah, maybe it was, I've never been kidnapped, I've never been taken, but
Mm-hmm. I'm glad you haven't.
But no, I mean, yes, me
too. I'm glad you haven't, for real. Same here.
Aspect, I kind of amp it up. We write almost for, entertainment as well as therapy and creating and just doing that, but it is an entertainment. So it would probably be a little more emotional. Maybe it was my own doing. I didn't want to have him sit down and be like, talk to me in that painful conversation, because you just want to rip the Band-Aid off and be done with the relationship. And I think maybe that's why I didn't do it that way. But giving me things to think about. So maybe I have to pull that back out.
I know, right? Well, we both give each other things to think about. But the reality is, any way that you do it, if you decide to have that, that dialogue that would kind of inform us as the audience as far as like why he kidnapped her and what that was all about, that would be cool. But then in the same hand, if you don't, that's still cool, because how many of us have had someone pass on? It may not be as tragic, or as, well, I don't want to say it's tragic. Well, yeah, his was pretty tragic. It may not be as tragic as his was, his demise. But you still have these questions in your mind, like, well, why did this happen? But you can't go back and talk to the person because they're not there. So you
part of Rowan's story is she's got to figure out how to heal. And sometimes we bring on maybe, I mean, I don't know. Sometimes when you carry such negative energy, you can bring it towards you. It's like a flashlight for the negative energy to come at you.
Mm.
Her not wanting to deal with Patrick's death and what happened and everything and just sweeping it under the rug, which I know I'm very guilty of, you know. You're not healing, and maybe the ghost is an emotional baggage she needs to just kind of let go of.
Man.
I mean, I don't.
No, I'm just saying, man, like that was deep. But yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Any which way you go with it, it's going to work. But I thank you for the Mama Catherine one because that's something that I definitely want to explore. Because now that you brought her up, I'm like, maybe I need to, dive a little bit deeper with her.
Thank you. Sorry, I was reading the comments.
No, girl, you're fine. Let's see here. My dolls are actors, so they can definitely attend red carpet events.
That's awesome.
My mini-me just buying a cow started a whole romantic storyline for her best friend. I didn't even mean to, LOL. I am not good at doll stories like you guys. Oh, I highly doubt that. Oh, I saw the doll story with the cow, and that was good. It was good. Yes. That was Gypsy Soul Doll. I did see a cow story, and I was like, wow, that was really, really good. Mama Catherine is very complex and interesting. It would be interesting to know what shapes her worldview. Guys, this is good. Thank you. Yeah, that helps me because I'm like, okay, I need to get more attention to that. So yeah, that's cool. I like it.
Yes, don't kill her off because then you can't tell the story like me. So tell her. Honestly, I really just wanted Patrick for my mini-me's husband, so he had to go.
And I remember you said that, and that's what was like kind of throwing me off a little bit because I remember you were like, this is why you said it in your caption. This is why I had to kill him off so he could be my mini-me's husband. And then when I saw the shadow and stuff, I was like, well, maybe, that is him. Like maybe you had decided to do something different and you're going to bring him back in. It's just that like when he's like touching the hair and stuff, the way that you did it, it's just, I didn't know for sure he was going to be just a ghost or not.
That was hard because I didn't know. I knew I could take the images and pull them into Photoshop and manipulate them, but I just didn't want to do that. So I was like, well, why not just use the same doll? Like instead of trying to force something that I just did. Yeah. So with her, like I just thought use him. Like what would a spirit be like? Well, he wouldn't be wearing clothes. So when he is shown, it's him bare chested, everything. But yeah, that was tricky because I was like, I may have done something I don't know how to do. I don't know how to execute. So, yeah,
you're doing good with it. You're doing good with it. You're doing very good with it. I enjoy it. Let's see here. Kin Legacy Doll said, you are dope. I am following you now. Oh, yeah. Gypsy Soul Doll said, you stole her man. My Froggy Stuff said, I wrote a character off to be my mini husband, too.
You're cute. I want you to be my husband. Mine now. That's right. We take characters. You have the way.
There you go. So yeah, I don't blame you at all. Actually, I made her a miniature husband, my husband. But like I said, I'm still trying to like get a feel with her. I'm still getting a feel with her. We're still, I guess, bonding. Yeah. We're still kind of bonding, trying to see where she's at in the storyline. So we'll see. Right now, she's a co-host. She and Gloria. I'm enjoying her.
You'll find somebody and you're like, oh, you guys need to be together. Like, it just works. She's beautiful, though. I love what you're doing with her. I'm excited to see where her character goes.
Me too. Me too. Me too. Shoot. Well, thank you. Like I said, you gave me something to think about. You guys have, like I said, when I come back from or when I get off this live, I'm going to spend a little time, get my mama Catherine out, and because I usually do, yeah, I usually do a few photos right before I go downstairs because Darren has the kids. So
allowing this.
Yes, thank you. And thank you to Matt as well and kiddos. Yes.
He's doing some math, or he was doing some math homework, so he's helping. He's being amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
yeah, we will. We're going to do this again.
Yes.
Yes, yes, yes. So I'm going to let you go. We're going to be talking. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. I really do appreciate it. And I had a really, really good time talking to you.
Me too.
Okay, sis. Thank you, everybody, for watching. You guys have a good night.
Bye.
Bye-bye.